Hello, this is Julie from Musial Marketing. Today is April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day, and I had a pretty good joke played on me today. I had a live recording, a great webinar done with one of my clients, Julie Parenteau from Global Perceptions. I'm going to bring up her website. It's Global Perceptions. The owner is Julie Parenteau, and she's based in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We had a wonderful call, and what this call was on is I had asked her some questions about would she be willing to do a live call with me, and I was going to put it on my blog and on my social media, etc., etc. Had quite a few listeners, and lo and behold, our sound did not take. I mean, she sounded great, but my recording was totally garbled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate this without Julie on the line. I apologize, Julie, for that, because I know you're going to be listening to this. But rather than have you take more of your precious time, I'm going to just do this from memory. So where we're at right now, when I asked Julie, she asked me a couple questions. As I said, she is a member, and she asked me about social media and how to get more people to engage with her. And here's how the call went. So I'm going to act as if she's on the line, and I'm going to try to recreate this. So happy April Fool's Day, everyone. April Fool's to me. Here we go. So the first thing you want to do when you think about social media is this. Your website is first and foremost the most important thing in your business. It is your most important piece of real estate. Why? Because approximately 70% of the people, they go directly to your website. They don't go to your storefront. Even if you have a storefront, people don't go to storefronts anymore. They go to your website because people are so busy today that they go to your website rather than the storefront. And that's really critical because your website has to be top notch. Your website is more important than your social media because you don't own your social media. You do own your website. And what you want to do using social media is you want to take people from social media and push them to your website, because once you get them on your website, then you can more intimately get them involved in your content there. So we were going to take a look at, this was an actual review of Global Perceptions website and their social media. And let me take a quick sip of water here. Okay, so right now we are on Global Perceptions website, and what I talked to Julie about is, see in the upper right hand corner here, she has her share buttons. If I clicked on those, I would be able to share this page with my followers. And then over here on the left, she also has her share buttons. She's got Facebook, Twitter, email, you can print it, and then she has more. And that's great. But what I didn't see on this site were follow buttons. And Julie asked me, what's the difference between a share and a follow button? And what I want to do is I'm going to bring up my website in order to show you that. So for example, if we go to my About page, this is my About page. Now you want to tell people what to do because they don't always know what to do. So here we've got the follow me, and you've got all my social icons, the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram, and then my RSS feed from my blog. Now what that means, if you click on these, you can follow me on my social media platforms. Now down below, this is where my share buttons are. Now the difference is if you clicked on these, it's not connecting with me, it's sharing with your followers the content of this page. So it's very, very important to do that. So let's go back to Julie's page here. So what I talked about was her home page, and I noticed that on different browsers, one of the problems that I had before with no sound was I was on a Microsoft Windows computer. And now I'm on a Mac, and they are two different screens. When I looked at her website on my other computer, you couldn't see this information on the bottom here. And what we call this is, once you drop down below the line that you can't see this, we call that below the fold. So when you put your website together, you want to make sure that this information on the bottom here is at least somewhat above the fold. Because if it's totally below and on the other browser, and that brings to mind you want to check it on different browsers. What I was using before was Firefox, and I was using it on Microsoft Windows. Now I'm using Google Chrome, and I'm using it on a Mac. So different browsers, different computers will show different things, and you also want to make sure that your computer is smartphone friendly, because it has to be mobile friendly, because so many people are using mobile. It is just astronomically increasing in popularity, so you have to make sure of that. So you want to make sure that people can get a hold of you. And on your home page, she's got nicely here, she's communication consulting, relocation services, and language tutoring. What Julie does is in San Juan, Puerto Rico. She's from Wisconsin, and what she does in San Juan, Puerto Rico is she teaches relocation services, language barriers, and I had asked her to explain to me who her target demographic was, and I'll get into that in a minute. But on this home page here, one of the things that we talked about is you don't want to use any stock photography on your website. You always want to use real pictures. So I could tell that this was stock photography, and the one on the right is stock photography. And you don't want to use any type of stock photography. You want to use real live people. So in asking Julie who she was trying to reach, she said she has 3 different target demographics. She has, I'm going to read you this, intercultural communication workshops. Seminars are targeted at multinational corporations, universities, and hospitals. They cover people of all backgrounds, ages, and education levels. And what I shared with her on that was that because it's all backgrounds, all ages, and education levels, Facebook would be a great place to look at for this particular demographic that she's targeting. Then she has another one where she's working with relocation services are targeted to both those who are coming to Puerto Rico and those who are leaving the island. Those moving here are usually executives, mostly male, 40 to 50 years old, and they're highly educated. Now, when I heard that, executives, mostly male, high educated, I started thinking about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, whenever you hear executives or education or business professional, I'm thinking LinkedIn. And then I'm thinking Google Plus because of the male demographic, and I'm thinking Twitter because it is also more male dominated, and it's higher incomes and more affluent. I talked about Google Plus and the fact that you really want to be on Google Plus regardless of what your demographic is, and I'll go into that in a moment. Now, she had a third one, and she talked about language programs are again targeted at 2 different groups. She talked about how most of her clients for that demographic are spouses who stay at home during the day, and they're 30 to 55-year-olds educated. And her services are also offered to children when needed. Now, I asked her of the 3 which one was the most important, and she said it would be the multinational corporations, the executives, the higher educated. So that's what I was going to focus on. Many, many different businesses have multiple demographics. For example, when you have a college, you would be targeting not only the kids, and you might be targeting them on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat, but then with the parents, you might be targeting LinkedIn, or you might again be targeting Facebook, or depending on what the person does. So you can have multiple demographics, and you want to look at that. You need to take that into consideration when you're putting together your messages. So we'll continue on. I'll talk more about Google and Google Plus when we get to social media. So this is Julie's homepage. Now, when we get to the About Us page, what I had talked to Julie about was this bottom portion didn't change a lot. You notice when I click on home, I didn't see a big difference, and I almost didn't even realize that the page changed. Now, there's a nice change. So you want to make sure that you're far enough above the fold, say for example like that. Okay, so one of the other things I noticed is that you don't Julie doesn't have, she doesn't have any share buttons until she gets to her events page. When she gets to her events page, she has Facebook here and she has her Twitter here. The reason it says log in is because I'm not currently logged into Facebook. But here's where she has her blog. Now, it's very, very important that you have a button as a blog because your blog is so important. It's really, really important to the search engines that you have a button on there for your blog. And when I click on her blog, so she's kind of cleverly has her blog hidden away. Now here was something else. When I clicked on her blog, this picture is much too large because nothing comes up over the fold. You want to have this information down here come up over the fold, and then she has her categories down here, which is nice. But you definitely want to have more of that above the fold. So I'm going to go back to, I think right there. There we go. So that would be it for blog. Now, one of the things when you get to contact us, I asked Julie if she had, if she sends people emails, if she collects emails, and she said that how she collects emails is through her contact page. And what she does then is she uses MailChimp, which is a free piece of software, and she manually enters her email addresses. What I suggest you do is put together, and I'm going to jump over to my site here to Musial Marketing. So for example, if I go to my home page, you want to have different ways to collect people's emails because remember, you own your website, you own your email list, but you don't own your social media platforms. So for example, what I do is right here on my home page, this is an email collection opt-in. And if someone clicks on here, they put in their first name and their email, and they get to access this video. But I now have their email, and it goes to a landing page which tells them what they're going to get and that they're going to get some tips from me and things like that. But it's a way that I can collect their information. So there are more on this page. We've got the $197 opt-in. And then we have the free tip Tuesday. Now I have these strategically placed throughout my website. Now this is what you want to do is you want to keep in mind that when people get a lot of information, it's kind of information overload. If people are overloaded with information, they're going to get paralyzed. And you don't want that because when people get paralyzed, they do nothing. So for example, if we're on this one here, you click on my free Get My Download. So I'm going to click on it. And there is the free download page. Why do I have a landing page? It's also called a squeeze page. So a squeeze page, landing page is the same thing. So here you've got my $197 free valuable gift, and all I'm asking you to put in is your first name and email. Download now. Why only the first name and email? Because statistically, the more things you ask someone for, the less likely they are to opt in. So down below here I tell you what you're going to get, the 5-video business e-course, you're going to get the advertising my book, you're going to get the 7 mistake report, and you're going to get the top 6 tools report. And there again I've got the first name and email down below. So what you want to make sure that you have, let me go back here. I got to move this. There we go. So what you want to make sure that you have on your website are enough opt-ins. You want to give valuable information, something that people will find valuable so that they give you their email and their name so that you can send them valuable content at later dates. At some point, you can send them services that you sell. Now, for example, if you look at, let's go to my About page. So in my About page, in the middle of the About page, there again, strategically placed in the middle, is my opt-in for my top 10 social media strategies. And all I'm asking for is their first name and their email. And when you click on here, it goes directly to the video, but I now have their first name and email. So it's really critical that you use one. Now you can use, MailChimp is free. The less expensive that a piece of software is for email collection, the less options it's going to have. I use Office Autopilot. Now, Office Autopilot ranks right up there with like an Infusionsoft. Hold on, I need a brief drink of water here. Office Autopilot is a very nice piece of software. It's highly sophisticated. You can do all kinds of things with Office Autopilot, but there is a price tag with it. It's $297 a month. But now you can get other pieces of software. For example, you can get kind of a stepchild to Office Autopilot, which is called SendPepper Pro. You can get SendPepper Pro for $30, and SendPepper Pro is pretty sophisticated. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles, and you can upgrade at a later time. Now I said there's MailChimp, there's iContact, there's Aweber. There's quite a few of them out there. Aweber is a nice piece of software, not nearly the functions as Office Autopilot. Office Autopilot is very, very easy to use. It looks great. The thing with Aweber is you pay about $60 every 3 months, but there's a lot less bells and whistles. But it is a good piece of software, but it's a lot more labor intensive to use. It's not nearly as slick, as easy to use. But so that is a big point. You want to have an opt-in on your website. So let's go back. All right, let's see if there was anything else I want to try to remember. As I said, we recorded this earlier today, and unfortunately, the voice was terrible. What they told me is I had too many tabs open, which caused my bandwidth to exceed the limit on that particular computer. So what I like here is Julie has pictures of herself. She's teaching. I gotta stop moving my my mouse. It's moving my screen. She has really nice pictures of herself teaching people. This one looks like it's staged, so I'm not real a fan on that. The airplane's okay, but the pictures of herself are definitely the best. There she is teaching her clients, and then I think there she is teaching her clients again. And then she has testimonials. Now, one thing that I don't see on here are any YouTube videos. What you really want to get is you want to get some YouTube videos, not only of yourself, but you also want to get testimonials from your clients. Okay, so now we are going to take a look at the various social media platforms. So as I said, for Julie, she has a triple target demographic, and because of that, not only does she need to look at Facebook for the masses, she needs to look at LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Twitter for the I'm going to close out of some of these browsers so I don't lose my sound again. She needs Facebook for the masses, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Twitter for the professional. Google Plus is a more male-dominated, more geeky type, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's a more male-dominated, geeky type. And Twitter has the younger, but it also has the more affluent people with higher incomes. And let's run through those real quickly. We're about halfway through the half an hour. So, right now I'm on Julie's Facebook page. And what I instantly noticed is that it says unique Facebook covers. So not even knowing this, I asked Julie why it said that, and she said it was because she got this from a company called Unique Facebook Covers. So you really want to take your picture is extremely important. And what I suggest is you use an online service called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Use Fiverr.com. Everything on there is $5. You can go on there, find companies that do graphic designs for you, get them information, and they'll do great designs for you. If you don't like what comes back the first time, it was $5. So then you might pay another $5 to tweak it, and another $5 to tweak it. The most I've ever paid to get something really complicated was $50. So I highly recommend Fiverr.com to get that really polished look, and then put your design on your Facebook. The other thing that I noticed on Julie's account here is right here where she's got company, this is her about. What you want to do right here, right before the word intercultural, is you want to have your website. So when you go to About, I'm going to click on About. So when you go to About, if I were the person that owned this account, it would say Edit. I'd click on Edit, and then the first thing you want to put in there is your website address, because when you do that, if you use the HTTP, so http:// your website address, it will become a link. So you definitely want to do that. So pictures mean 1,000 words on Facebook. And as a matter of fact, right now with social media, pictures are extremely important. And what you want to do is you want to use PicMonkey, PICmonkey.com. In the resource section for my members, I have a video. Actually, I think I have that on YouTube as well. There's a video on how to use PicMonkey. On all of your pictures, you want to put your website address and or your logo so that if people share your picture, you're branded on that picture. Very, very important. So now let's jump over to, I'm going to jump over to Google+. Now this is my personal Google+. I did not share Julie's because she's not, she hasn't used it much at all. But on your personal, you want to, when you use Google+, you need to use Google+, whether it's your target demographic or not, and I'll tell you why. Because Google is a very, very well-established search engine. It's the #1 search engine in the world. Google owns Google+, and they also own YouTube, and they also own about 100 different other properties. They're very, very powerful. In my opinion, they're much more powerful than Facebook. Even though Facebook has 1 billion users, if you look at the actual statistics, Google Plus has the second highest number of users who are unique users on a daily basis. Google Plus has only been around 2.5 years, where Facebook has been around 10 years. Google, what they do is you want to use Google because typically, if you write a blog post, it can take a month or two for Google to get your information on the internet, to send the spiders out to search your information. Whereas if you have a Google Plus account and you have it hooked up to your website, I'm gonna run over to my I have a company page, so I'm going to show you my company page. And on my company page, this is my company page. Now you can see I don't use my company page very often, and I do it really because I've got my website linked, and I also have my YouTube account linked. So if you go to my About page, you're going to see that I have my YouTube account linked. Why do I do that? Because Google Plus favors their own products. What I mean by that is if you have these things connected, I'm going to go back to my profile. If you can connect your website to either your personal or your business account. You can connect your business YouTube account to either one, but you can only do it to one. So by doing that, when you take a blog post and you post it to, let's say, Google Plus, and you get people who plus want it, Google recognizes that. And instantly, because you're connected to Google through Google Plus, you could appear on Google. The other thing that Google does is your friends, and this is why you should try to get as many connections as you can on Google Plus. Google knows who is connected with you on your Google Plus accounts. So you want to be connected to a lot of different people who are your primary target demographic, because Google makes sure that the people you're connected to see your information as a higher rank when they search. That's really, really critical. So Google Plus, what you want to make sure is that you fill out your About section. And one of the things that I had talked about is when you go to Google and you search something, and you know how when they have the little picture by it, most of the listings don't have a picture and some do. The ones that have a picture, it's more grabbing. By having that picture, it will grab you in more. So in your tagline and introduction, what they use for your description on Google is approximately the first 60 characters of your tagline and your introduction. Why is that important? Because you want to know what are your keywords. And I asked Julie what her keywords are, and she said some of her top keywords were relocation and language. So for example, you're going to see my tagline. I've got social media training as my very first 3 words. That's because that's my #1 keyword. And then I have internet marketing solutions. Internet marketing is another one of my keywords. So you want to make sure you get your keywords in there. And you also want to make sure that you have all of these things. Here's my Google Plus. Here's my YouTube. This is my personal YouTube because this is my personal account. Then you want your other profiles. This is my website, my Twitter, my Google+. Then down here, anything that I contribute to. I'm going to run back over to my business page real quick. And what you're going to see here is, if we go down below, you've got my website, and see how it's connected. If I hover over it, it says linked website. Here's my YouTube account. I have that linked. My blog, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Musial Marketing YouTube, my Pinterest, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, all of my different social media accounts, and you want to do that too. And all you have to do is go in and edit. It's not very difficult, and if you're a member, you just want to go into the membership center and take a look, and you can watch the videos on how to do it. Okay, so that takes care of Facebook and Google Plus, because we're getting close to running out of time. I'm going to look at Julie's Twitter account. Now, she does a real good job of posting. I like the fact that she had the world on the left and right hand corner. But what I talked to her about is this right here is very important, real estate. You want to make sure that what you talk about here, first of all, use your keywords, and I can see she did. She has communication, training, relocation, language. You don't need the pound signs. She has intercultural. Tell people exactly what you do, and it's great that she has her website connected. And then you want to post, say, at least one time per day. On Twitter, you can post up to 10 times a day because it's a running feed, and people will only see it if they're popping in at that given time. All right, now I want to show you how to find people. Take down this website address, twitter.com/search-advanced. So it's https://twitter.com/search-advanced. I'm doing this exactly as if it were live. What you want to do is you can fill this out. This is how you find people to follow on Twitter. Now, for example, in Julie's case, she is interested in relocation. So what I typed in there, you can type all of these words or the exact phrase or any of these words. So I'm going to type in all of these words. I'm going to put I am relocating. Okay, so now I'm going to go down below, and you can click on places, you can click on dates, you can click on people, and then I'm going to click search. Now what this did was, it's going to say, let's see, what you're getting is, I am relocating back to Las Vegas, I am relocating to the Houston area, I am relocating. So what this is going to do is you can search conversations for anything that you want to search. And once you find what you're looking for, you want to connect with this person. You want to start sending them some things. You want to start having a dialogue with this person. You want to get them somehow to get to your website so that you can let them know about your services. Okay, then we're going to go to LinkedIn, one of the very important, this is Julie here. Thank you, Julie, for being on the line this morning. I greatly appreciate it. Julie Parenteau, I was talking about, here, I'm going to get rid of this here. I'm just going to go through her, her profile briefly. Right up here, when you look at what's under your name, this is kind of your most important real estate on LinkedIn. President at, I would take that off because down below you can see that she already has president down here. And this is how the search engine, how LinkedIn actually has a search engine built right into LinkedIn. So you want to use your keywords in your description, because that's how LinkedIn is going to find you, and that's how people are going to find you. So I would take president at out, and I would come up with something real unique. And I'm going to show you how to find out who your competition is and how to look at them. But so that's how you would do that. You want to make sure that your contact information, everything is correct. Now, under where she has president, I don't feel that these descriptions are nearly large enough. You need a much larger write-up. independent language teacher, needs more information. All of these need more information. Now, the other thing that I talked about is skills and endorsements. Now, these are actually keywords. These should be your keywords. You definitely want to have your keywords because LinkedIn uses your skills and endorsements for keywords. Excuse me, I'm going to get a drink of water. Okay, so moving right along, the other thing that I talked about was on your recommendations. Julie only has one recommendation. You want to have at least 10. And how you get recommendations, you go into recommendations and you request someone to give you a recommendation. Let's say you did some great service for someone and you know this person was highly complimentary. Send them a recommendation request and say, could you send me a recommendation on the service that you received from Global Perceptions last year? And then most likely they will. If they don't, what you may want to do, because people are so busy, is just type up a brief email on the services that you believe that they experienced. Send them the email and say, would this be realistic in the description of what you received last year? And if they say yes, say, would you copy and paste this into the LinkedIn recommendation? The other thing you can do is you can actually give other people recommendations and they will most likely give you recommendations. All right, so then how you search for people and make sure that you're coming up in the searches first. Click up here in the upper right hand corner under Advanced. And one of Julie's keywords were relocations. So I'm going to type in relocation services. Now you can get really particular. You can do first only, second, third. I'm going to do everyone, so I'm going to put third plus everyone else. Now if you wanted a current company, let's say there was a company that you wanted to get people, you could go into company, industry. You can fill out as much as you want. I'm going to leave it United States, but you could do a postal code down here. And then I'm going to click on search. And up pop these different people. Now, so for example, this gal here, Sue Coyle, owner care manager at Coyle Care Management and Consulting. So if we see she's got summary, she has relocation in her summary. Let's check out a couple more of these. A lot of these are for property management, etc. But we're going to go down. So here we have Lisa Howard, Marketing Manager, Global Business Development at Brookfield Global Relocation Services. So I'm going to click on her name. Now, it's okay that I click on her because she doesn't know me and I don't know her. So she's going to be able to see that I'm looking at her profile. But I'm not a competitor of hers, so it doesn't matter. But if you're looking at your competitors, it does matter, and I'll show you in a second how to look at your competitors without them knowing you're looking at them. But what you're seeing here is I put in relocation services. Why did she pop up close to the top? You can see in yellow every place she has relocation. And when you write your copy, you want to make sure that in your copy you have your keywords. Here she's got relocation right here as her fourth one. You want to make sure you have those keywords strategically placed throughout your profile. So I want to show you quick how you can go in here. Now up here in the upper right hand corner you want to click on the little picture and then you want to go down to privacy and settings. And I'm going to have to look up what my password is. Let me put that in. Okay, so then I'm going to put that in. And when it comes up now, this is your settings. So right now I'm down here under profile and you can see here, select what others see when you viewed their profile. Now you want to click on that and you can see that they can see my name and headline, which is what I want. You could be number 2, you could be anonymous profile characteristics such as industry and title, or you can be totally anonymous. So while you're searching your competition, click this button right here and then save changes. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to save those changes, but that's how you become totally anonymous so that you can search people and they don't know you're searching them. You can also search companies up here, etc. If you click on this bottom button right here, you can search people or companies. If you're looking for a job, this is a great place for you to be. You should be on LinkedIn for jobs. Before you sign up with one of the job paid for platforms on LinkedIn, you want to make sure that your profile is top notch. So, and you can do that just by going over here under upgrade. So I will go back to home. And I think, let me see if that was everything we had talked about. The last thing that we had talked about, because Julie asked me, she said, on a weekly basis, what can I post? I struggle with what I should post. So here's my thought on that. If I go back to Julie's website, I'm going to go to her homepage. You want to realize that you are really close to your business and other people are not. So you're not being redundant. You're not really repeating yourself. I mean, you are, but you're not to other people because they probably didn't see your last 10 posts or they didn't see, last week posts or what have you. You want to look at your email. What are people asking you? What kind of questions are people asking you in email? What kind of questions are your clients asking you? If you have a sales staff, what kind of questions are they getting? You want to use all of those questions and you want to answer them in little bite-sized social media status updates. If you have services, for example, Julie has services here, so I'm going to go to her services page. So for example, she might want to, if she knows that she has a great testimonial on here, she might say, see what Jane Doe had to say about our relocation programs, and then go to this page. If you had a nice video on here, you could do a link to the video, or you can do a link to your blog. You want to have a clever caption and then a link, but you always want to be driving people back to your website. So I hope that helps, and I think, let me check out what else she had on here. One of the other things that Julie Parenteau asked me at the end of our live call this morning was, she said, Julie, that's all fine and good, but where do I get the time to do all of that? And I said, that's a really good question, because you need to spend the time running your business. You're the expert in your business. You are the communication expert. That's where you should be spending your time. And for other things, in order to, I'm going to put my coaching hat on because I am a business coach as well. In order to have a successful business, you have to focus on the things that you're good at, but you also have to do marketing and sales, because that's how you bring business in. So if you're struggling with the amount of time to do social media, I want to tell you that, and you don't have to go with our services, but if this is my web page, and if you go to the services tab right here, we do social media services for you. If you scroll down the page and you go to any one of these tabs, let's say you click on social media training, it's going to go to social media setup, social media maintenance, social media training, etc., and then just send us an email saying that you're interested in that service. But if you don't want to look at Musial Marketing, you really want to, if you're really budget conscious, you want to think about, can you find an intern who can help you? Or do you have a neighborhood high school student who can help you? Think outside the box. And because social media has to be done consistently. Now, the other thing too is, if you try to be jack of all trades, or you try to get this high school student to do it and she doesn't know how to do it, that's not a good thing either. Because, think about being an expert and just slapping something together. It just doesn't work. You have to, social media, if your social media isn't working, it's not working for a reason. And if you get help and you teach that person the exact same way you know how to do it, chances are it's not going to work either. So you have to get someone who knows how to do it, or train them. Now, you could get a high school student or an intern, and you could go to our course page right here, and you could take a look at putting them through our membership site to learn how to do it. That's an option as well. I think that was it. So I hope I covered the entire phone call that I had with Julie Parenteau this morning. It truly was a lovely live webinar, and I wish I would have had her on here, but I'm not going to force her through another half an hour. So, April Fool's joke on me, but it's now done. I am looking for other people to do live calls with. And in the time that you're going to get the live call, you're also going to get a $500 value on. I will take a look at your website. I'll take a look at all of your social media platforms, and I will give you my professional advice on what you should be doing, and that is worth its weight in gold. So I look forward to your questions. I look forward to you connecting with me, saying that you would like to be the next person that gets one of these live webinars done on your business.